But instead, AJ comes out and that gets to the Miriam reveal to go after Rhea Ripley. So the challenge is set for the main event. Mustafa Ali, who's been getting very icy reactions as of late because, when you book to shit, you're not going to get the love from the crowd. Booking will hurt you if you're not booked strongly on this show as a babyface. And I kind of felt the vibe last week when Seth went up against Austin Theory that, Seth is leaning into being a babyface a bit more, and he's about to be 10 years in WWE on the main roster. So you can kind of feel the vibes of a babyface change happening at long last. So to protect Mustafa Ali from the pushback, Bobby Lashley beats his ass backstage, throws him over the crates.
Disrespectful.
Absolutely.
That was one of the most disrespectful toss out the pictures I've ever seen.
Get out my face, boy.
He not only did it once, but twice. The disrespect to get that man out of the frame 2 times. And he says, Seth, I haven't forgotten how you won that championship from me by calling out my background in the military. You said I wasn't faithful to my country. You goaded me into my match. Brock beat me up. Ain't forgot shit, son. So I'm coming for you. So in some ways, that's a babyface move by Bobby, but at the same time, you beat up Mustafa Ali. And I laughed. So we get Bobby coming out, and he absolutely demolishes Seth Rollins, beats his ass from pillar to post. I'm like, well, this is random. A lot of time left on the clock. So we get Austin Theory. Now I want y'all to really marinate on this for a moment, okay? Because in booking, this is stupid. It's an open challenge for a championship. Why do you have to cash in your briefcase on a secondary title for an open challenge? Second of all, when did the rules change for Money in the Bank? You can challenge any championship, not just the main one, but tag team titles, IC title, US title. Hell, even the NXT championship is up for grabs. So Austin Theory cashes in his Money in the Bank briefcase, hits the pedigree on Seth Rollins for a near fall. And Rollins fights back, but he's beaten down by Theory and Bobby Lashley from earlier. Theory hits A-Town down. Bobby Lashley pulls the referee out of the ring and says, no, Austin Theory, you don't get to win shit either. He beats his ass, chokes him out in the hurt lock. But magically, at like 9.5 seconds before the count of 10, Theory pops back into the ring and gets immediately curb stomped by Seth Rollins, the hero of the story, the conquering babyface we now presume he is, to retain his championship to end the show on a high note. So we've accomplished 3 things. 1, Seth Rollins, as we have been begging for a year on this very show, is back to being a babyface. The people sing his songs. They love him. They adore him. Good for Seth. Step 2, Bobby Lashley is a heel, I presume. And we saw Shelton Benjamin and Cedric lose on this show. I'm guessing very soon, the Hurt Business is being reunited and it will feel so good. Number 3, Triple H says, all due respect to Austin Theory, I didn't pick him. We're going to try again next year. We're going to completely kill off Money in the Bank for this year. No cash in, nothing. We're going to just kill this off, try again with people I want to get over in this spot, revive this concept heading into WrestleMania next year, get a proper winner over, and go from there. Theory, Daddy's not here anymore. Vince is gone. The protection is over. There's no egg to save you this year. So you're going to be sidelined. I don't think he's buried, but it was a direction and a decision to say, you know what? We're not going with you. You're not going to be beating Roman or Cody Rhodes. So my Atlanta versus Atlanta rivalry is dead. So Scott, what are all of your thoughts on the 3-prong main event angle that accomplished a lot of things for Bobby Lashley, Seth Rollins, and now former Mr. Money in the Bank, Austin Theory?
Before I get to the 3-prong attack, I would also like to point out Mustafa Ali jumped Bobby Lashley while he was mid-sentence in his promo. I just also want to, he was off camera and jumped that man. And Bobby was like, yo, are you serious? And threw him and tossed him. I just want to make sure everyone got the whole picture of how that looked. Mustafa Ali jumped him. Bobby tosses him out. It was excellent. Might have been one of the best things I've seen in a while. Didn't do a lot for Ali. So it was an awful idea. I guess the mindset was, we're elevating these titles, so let's treat this as a world title. The only other time I've ever heard of anyone, any Mr. Money in the Bank cashing in their championship for anything other than the world title was, I know Otis talked about it with Tucker before he got turned on for cashing in the tag titles. And I think that's the only time. But like, Keila, I mean, there's really nothing else to lay out. You laid out the stupidity right there. It was an open challenge. You should have just threw him in the ring. And if Seth's going to be the fighting champion that he is, let him be the fighting champion. And then you lose the match. Then you smash him with the chair 5-6 times. Then you cash in. If you have to have a belt, then you cash in after you lose the first time and you whoop his tail. But like, it's just, the whole thing was stupid. Doesn't make any sense. I do want to say one other thing. Keila, you talked about you don't think Austin Theory was buried, and I completely agree with you. And I've seen a lot of people online, a lot of the discourse saying, they're burying Austin Theory and he's buried. I don't think people quite understand what buried means. You're not being buried if you're in the main event. Okay, you can't be buried if you're still in a prominent position. He's not losing to Freakin. He's not losing to Tozawa or anything like that. So if he was being buried, you wouldn't see him. He wouldn't be on TV. He wouldn't be on main event. That's being buried. Being buried is being forgotten about, is being pushed completely aside to the point where people don't even think about you. Now, he may be getting put in a different spot, but this is certainly not a burial of Austin Theory. Triple H just doesn't see him as that guy yet. And like, he's not 35, he's like 26 or something like that. So he's got plenty of time. But this whole thing was completely stupid, made no sense, and did nothing for anybody except for Lashley and Seth. And I've been asking for it. I hope Omos is also part of this Hurt Business, because I think he'd be a great heavy. I mean, just that image of Lashley with Omos standing behind him would be incredible. And MVP sitting there with the cane, all of them looking fly with the fresh suits. I mean, we know Omos got a great dress game now. So, yeah, I'm all for that too.